right this minute. So you're recording the call. Is it only recording the audio, or are you capturing this hot tub scene?
Every single thing we're doing is being recorded.
Look at
30
you.
minutes in.
Wow, you're pretty good at this.
And I'm only going to get better. So while we're in this hot tub, it's reminiscent of this Russian spa that I went to on a whim. And I was going to bring you before you met Victoria. I was like, we're fucking going here. Because I knew if I were to investigate this further, it would have been, it's not a spa. This is a special place. And so I remember leaving there like a little dehydrated. Oh, well, let's go back to the beginning. He goes, give me your cell phone. I go, well, here's my livelihood. And he goes, and your keys. He fucking tosses me a robe. In his defense, it's a warm robe. Like, it's very comfortable. And he goes, and he made this comment. He goes, you'll be in and out. What does
He had a
that
read
mean?
on you, huh?
Yeah. He goes, you'll be in and out. He goes, here, I need $50 or $100. He goes, you'll be in and out. I go, what the fuck's he talking about? Like, I spend hours in the sauna. I like to get all that sauna, and I knew there was a cold dip after the sauna, and they put real birch wood in the, like, it's not like a bullshit YMCA sauna. It's like the real deal. So I don't want to sell this place out or anything, but I'm sitting in there and I'm noticing they're starting to put in no other women, like Victoria's Secret women, in my sauna. And people are coming, they go, would you like us to beat you with these leaves? Do you want us to beat you with these leaves? And I'm like, no, I'm just here for a good sauna. So I'm the dummy thinking I'm here for a good sauna. And it's much more than that. It's much more than that.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I got
sorry.
a couple stories about prostitutes too, but I'm going to probably save those for later episodes.
I'd hold on to them. I do want to point out that I don't know what your prostitutes were like. I went here not expecting, and we're in Southampton, so this is where Bella Hadid's family lives. Like, I'm in like you buy a house here, it's $1 million, and I'm at this place where I guess the husbands go, and you can get a membership. It's $1,000 a year. You can get a membership, and you go here, and babe, it wasn't the Russian experience I expected. It was Victoria's Secret model women were in there, and they kept looking, and I said, well, I don't quite speak, I'm a fucking idiot. So I go, how are you? I'm just going to read the paper,
Yeah. Huh. How old were you when you still didn't understand anything about how the world worked?
I was like 30 years.
All right. Well, okay.
Yeah. And I still don't know how it all works, but I'm done with it. But I do know that, I said, what? I'm talking, when I tell you about Victoria's Secret women, I'm talking, these were not, people walking around Baltimore with their shirts below their chest.
They weren't Gollum type.
No.
Gollum looking prostitutes.
No. And I said, oh my God. And it wasn't until I was dehydrated and driving home where I go, oh my fucking God, those were prostitutes.
Wow, yeah.
And
you were a very sheltered youth, I suppose.
Well, I was 50.
Yeah, and it could be the autism, or I'm thinking this could be a childhood traumatic thing from when you were 12 and you watched your mother give birth because you insisted.
I still don't. That's why I disagree with Freud, because I couldn't even look at it.
Yeah. Freud's a quack. We've gotten into the whole Freud thing. Freud is part of the perversion of culture.
Right.
The whole science isn't true science. It's just he's going to push that whole global dehumanizing perversion. Oh, every boy wants to sleep with his mother. No, I think
or a 12-year-old.
Yeah, I think that's probably quite rare.
And a lot of these academics are so fucking creepy. And they go, I'm sorry.
As you always say, you're one of the few young boys who insisted on seeing his mother, naked.
I wanted to see her full body. She had.
And boy, did you see it, huh?
Well, I saw it, and I remember the doctor going, "It's crowning, it's crowning." And what that meant was my mother's vagina was so big that there was a moment where a baby was passing through it, and I started looking out the window. I said, "Guys, I wish I could be here in this moment, but I have to look out the window because to me, my mom's not that hot still." You know what I mean? Like I have to grow up to that Freudian idea that that's the woman I want
I
to
can't
sleep
hear you.
with. What?
Poor connection. Break. 200 megs, my ass.
Well, boy, you give me all the real shit right now. Don't give me the Chinese shit right now. That's all. That's
What's in the cup? Crown Royal. Okay. All right. Well, it is. I guess it is 2 p.m. New Year's Day.
Crown Royals is it's a go-to. My wife would describe it as having too much of a bite.
Huh.
We like a single barrel. You know, we like something smooth that's been around for 12 years. But I love a Crown. I like a little bit of not a Jack Daniel's bite, but we like a little whiskey that'll wake you up, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry this has all been about me. Let me ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
How is Abs for Alcoholics, for example, because you look better than ever?
Well, it's funny you said that. Abs for Alcoholics is obviously a work in progress, and it's not gone so well. It's very, very difficult to try to get to a low body fat level while you're drinking every day. So I'm actually probably about 25% body fat now. At one point, I was down to maybe 12.
I don't think anybody agrees with that. I'm not a medical doctor, but I wouldn't say 25.
You'd be surprised. And I was close at one point, but the trick to the Abs for Alcoholics diet is you eat one meal a day. You have to work out every day, cardio and weights. And you eat one meal, and it's got to be a healthy meal, like salad with grilled chicken. And then you just drink the rest of the day. So it's actually, as fun as it sounds, it's difficult to maintain. So I'm constantly tweaking the diet and trying to get it perfect before I release the book and, the instructional videos. But I've gained 25 pounds in the last year and a half. So I've got some thinking to do, and we're going to get it worked out. But it's like any kind of science, it's always evolving, and it's best to take the advice from experts. And
I love that it's a science. I love that. I thought you might say it was an art, but no, it's a science. It's still a science.
It's both. It's absolutely both. It's like astronomy. It's like space travel. It's an art mostly because it's not, real physically. It's not technically real, but it's very compelling to think about the idea that we're spinning so quickly and we're stuck to the ball and everything, and the water's stuck and the butterflies are flying around, but the boat's stuck. And we're just, it's fun to think about. We're just spiraling through nothingness forever.
Thank God we have an atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere that sticks to the spinning water ball that does not get sucked into the vacuum of space. The other one that's interesting is so if a submarine uses the water to propel itself off of, right, the dense water, and an airplane uses the air, the atmosphere, to push like a jet, what is a space shuttle using to continue propelling? What is it pushing off of?
Like where? At what point?
As soon as you leave the atmosphere and you get into space, what would you be pushing off of? What would your rockets be pushing off of? You have to, in a vacuum.
According to them, it's a similar propulsion method where they do eject and I'm not an expert on this.
See, you're missing the simple.
But according to them, even if you're in the vacuum of space and you need to make a minor adjustment, you can do so by firing off a couple of incendiaries.
Yeah, but what's it pushing off of? in a vacuum.
I guess itself in a way.
No.
That doesn't work out scientifically to you?
No, it's not possible.
Well, you can thank me for the 11 million more subscribers. And it's also good that they have a. Are you further back in the ocean now?
Oh, it found me and zoomed me in. Whoa, it's almost better to be farther away from the camera.
I'm just thinking from like an onlooker's perspective. I'm gonna how did you get that orange, that nice light on you?
I got an orange light beside me.
You fucking cunt, because as an onlooker, I'm gonna give one look at me I go, I'm gonna say this guy is a fucking liberal criminal. And if I look at you, I go, this guy looks great with a nice vest of hair. What the?
You look like a Charles Manson. You look like AOC and Charles Manson if they had a baby.
So maybe there'll be some appeal in the DC area.
Maybe, I guess, Southern California too, if you want to try to hit both bases.
Yeah, maybe there'll be some appeal. I just wish I looked. What the fuck do I have to do to look cool?
You look pretty cool, but I do think if you want to try to do an orange light like me, try using
a light. Here's this bright. They gave me this one light. It's bright white light. It's like a halogen light, and and I'm like blinded by it. And is that better?
Can you not change the tone, the warmth?
No, in my new one you can. In the one that's coming in the mail right now, I'm gonna look very beautiful. But right now, I look like a liberal. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing.
I mean, you're wearing a pink collared shirt and you're droning on about prostitutes. You sound like a Democrat politician.
You know how they like these Democrats, these women. But I do have to say that if it's just me and you and the 4 listeners we have, this place had women that you would lose your fucking mind over. Mind in thongs.
You sound like a Cuomo.
I never disliked him. I didn't like how he brought those old people to death. But I didn't always dislike Cuomo. Which one are you talking about? The governor?
Well, yeah, mostly because he reminds you of the gangsters that you've seen on TV. And he won an Emmy for his performance, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I saw that he won an Emmy. I think they revoked it. Did they revoke it? I think the Academy took it away.
I think I did hear that. His acting kind of fell apart towards the end. He kind of lost character. And some of him was actually poking through, and they were like,
well, he reminded me of a younger Pop-Pop. He reminded me of this no-nonsense.
He reminded you of a man who went to church every single morning for 50 years and did nothing but read books on the beach with his grandchildren.
In a way, your grandfather was so fucking cool that he would be like, Dan, I would say, Pop-Pop, what do you think of this? I said, Benjamin Franklin, we're both reading these autobiographies of like founding fathers. And I said, and this fucking dude found the library. And he looks right at me, goes, you think he found the fucking library?
Well, he didn't curse.
But it was something along those lines. And I was like, you sound like Cuomo right now.
Yeah, I guess if Cuomo was a good person, because they are both Italian, I guess if Cuomo was a good person, there would be some similarities there. Sure.
And I think Cuomo's a good. Does Cuomo not shock you as like a brother? Like, could you not go to a dinner with him and be like, laugh your ass off? Let's put all the facade and all the acting aside. Cuomo is going to be a funny dude at a fucking party.
I don't even think so, honestly. I think that he sold his soul to the big gov, to the UN. I think he really, I think he was one of the biggest parts of how they pulled off this whole scam for so long. I think him and Whitmer and Newsom are most to blame within our politics for getting everybody on board with the fear. I mean, he killed a bunch of people on purpose to get the numbers up. He went on TV every day and lied about how serious it was. And now look, here we are. Everything's falling apart. The narrative's collapsing, and only a few sheep are still trying to cling on to, as you put it, they've built their entire world around it, and now it's their identity. The fear and the pseudoscience of Lord Fauci is their identity. And I think if Cuomo hadn't played ball, it would have been a better world, and we'd have been where we are now, maybe a year ago. No, I think he's a horrible, horrible human being.
Give me 30 seconds. I'm listening.
I also think it's interesting that two of their producers over at CNN, talking about the other Cuomo, the brother, are pedophiles, convicted now and arrested. The producers of a program are like kind of the most integral part. And I think that the personality and the character of a producer says a lot about the program. And the fact that out of the few producers that you have at CNN, I mean, what, half of them are convicted pedophiles? This is what Q got right, okay? This is one of the things Q got right. And you look at them, you can just tell from looking at them, they have that look.
Excuse me.
It's similar to the look that you get when you glaze over like a Cuomo talking about all your prostitute missed opportunities, but it's different. It's like that, but it's a little bit different. It's a little dark.
Well, you could argue one was aware and one wasn't. I have to throw up. Literally have to throw up, but can't go out this way because they're like sitting in hammocks.
You should throw up in a trash can right on the program to let everyone have an idea of what an alcoholic you are.
Not my back pot. Dave, stop making this.
And there he goes. Have you considered water?
I just knew some of the best stuff's gonna come out of this.
Oh, you're gonna vomit right there live on air.
Nope.
Did you have too big of a sip of that whiskey?
That whiskey, fuck.
That's somebody's grandmother's like old,
don't tell him,
handed down tea kettle you just did that into.
Yeah. The other option would be to go out to the trampoline and vomit under the trampoline.
I wouldn't. I mean, anything would probably be better than their handed down. That looks like an urn almost.
I think it has the ashes of previous people.
And now, creatively, it has the ashes of 2021. So happy New Year to you.
Well, I do want to say, and I also want to say, Dave, you're absolutely right. I never should have liked this guy. When he came on, he was an Italian. I grew an initial appreciation. I go, fine, tell us be honest with us. And he seemed to be honest with us. And I'm sorry that I guess I trusted him too much. For the idea of him purposefully like saying, let's kill these old people. I don't think that he fucking did that. But I could see him pinching the asses of some good-looking interns.
Of course he did that. That's been fair game since the dawn of time. That's all changing now, for the better, for the worse. That's not really up to us to decide. We're not expert. But I do want to take a minute to have a word from our sponsors.
Mel Gibson?
Oddly enough, it's cut out the rest of the picture. There's Jesus in the picture too. I think what they've done with the algorithms on because this is through Microsoft, Bill Gates, any image of Jesus is automatically taken out of any picture because there's Mel.
So the closest we can get to Jesus is Mel.
See, look, there's Jesus. Now watch when we get closer. He disappears and only Mel remains. That's not something we're doing on our end. This is
no.
That's something.
I've been working in software. That's on purpose.
Yep. See, there's the real picture, but you get it close to focus, they take out. They only have Mel.
That is unbelievable.
So
I wouldn't put them in the same pictorial, but I would say that he's a good guy. And one of the movies I'd like to watch before we go back, look at him. He's a good, handsome guy. Looks like me.
Pretty much.
He wears a wristwatch on his right hand, which is a little weird. Not everybody does that.
Again, I mean, they took Jesus out of the picture. I don't know how they did it. You'd have to probably look into that, but it has something to do with Microsoft and kind of the cabal. So
I don't know if I want him in a picture with Jesus. Is he? He's wonderful, but like, we're you gonna put him on a Jesus level? Like, he's the Jesus. He was like cussing at his daughter. He was like, "You fucking cunt!" You like, wasn't he like cussing at it? The guy is not a spiritual guy necessarily.
Oh, he's not a spiritual guy. The guy who made Passion of the Christ is not a spiritual guy. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? Okay, he got a little drunk, and it wasn't his daughter, Mitch. Says the guy who just threw up in somebody's family heirloom out of alcoholism. Gonna judge Mel because he had too much to drink one night. He probably had some kind of bad medication.
I had a lot to drink last night, but I didn't pretend to be Christ. You know what I mean?
Pretend to be. He made a movie about it, and
I will never yell. I'm not going to yell ever at my daughter. I don't yell at my kids.
It wasn't his daughter. It was the girl who he had a baby with and left his family for, the young model. And then she screwed him over, and he realized she didn't love him. She just wanted like the money and all that. And it broke his heart. So he had too much to drink, and he went on a little bit of a rant, and he said some things he didn't mean because he was upset. Who among us hasn't ever been upset and said things they don't mean? I think he who's without sin should cast the first stone.
And therefore, I'm stoneless because I've never done anything wrong. If I reflect on the time that I've had, I rarely do anything wrong because I'm so thoughtful of others. And there's Mel, and Mel is me, and I am Mel, except Mel has a horrible relationship with his daughter.
No, it's not his daughter. He's got a great relationship with his kids. He has like 8 kids, and they all love him. It was a thing with, again,
8 kids is a red flag. 8 kids is a little too much. What are you, the Duggars? 8 kids is a little too many.
I don't think so. Not if you're on that level he's on. He realizes all that matters is family, and he's building a little army.
Okay, look, I'm not against that. And what was that movie in Scotland? Is this one I need to watch?
You've never seen Braveheart? I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
He says, we're going to fucking take on the world. And he goes out there with his horses. And I have never seen Braveheart.
Fuck. Okay. That's amazing because that's like the best movie there is. I remember you saying, and this actually turned out to be true. I thought you were kidding when I first had met you. You've only ever seen Speed and the Titanic.
Sandra Bullock. I've seen Speed, Avatar, and
Titanic.
Because I'm a James Cameron guy. And
you said you've seen a lot of Sandra Bullock films.
Yeah, Speed.
Yeah,
and the one where she's in outer space. That was the more recent one, when she's in outer space, and it was terribly sad.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie. It was called Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the same people who made the set design and the CGI for that are the same people who bring you your NASA imagery of, Elon Musk's rocket.
I'm so thankful for them so that I can get a good, clear image of what's going on in outer space. They are production experts, and when they go up to that extra level of atmosphere and they're able to broadcast a wonderful pixelated image back to me that I can explore, I'm very thankful for the folks that starred in that Avatar movie with Sandra Bullock and a lot of the other movies.
Yeah, and again, I'm just thinking about you. Once you're in the vacuum of space, it doesn't matter what kind of propulsion, because there's no atmosphere for you to push off of. So it literally makes no sense. If you start looking into it, even from just a commoner's understanding of how they claim.
Oh, I'm a commoner.
Look, I'm no engineer, even though I have built some pretty fantastic things. So I am actually an engineer.
What's the best thing you built?
Shit, dude. I don't even. tables and stuff.
Probably one of those weird guitar sound changers.
Pedal. No, I never built a guitar pedal. But you understand the basics of
If
Propulsion.
you start building guitar pedals, you're the next Ted Kaczynski. Can we both agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
If the moment you start manipulating a guitar signal and you go, oh, well, this one's going to do a double loop and a triple phase, you're fucking Ted Kaczynski.
Didn't we want to get, since we only have like 20 followers, we said until we get above 30, we're pretty hot on an FBI watch list because they don't like the loner types. They keep an eye out for the loner types. So if you guys would be doing us a huge favor if you would subscribe and watch and tell your friends, because until we get above 30, we are on an FBI watch list.
I've been a loner my whole life, and they're already all over me. I mean, when I say that, I mean, like, I see them. Like, not like in a sense that, like, you know, schizophrenia, but like,
no, you see them like they sit in their vehicle.
I get their letters. They're like, who's this dude designing music pedals? What, you know, they're on me. They're on me. They're not on you because you're a little more, sometimes you'll go out and you'll like host a karaoke or play a good music jam. For me, I'm just like a quiet weirdo teacher. So it's just sort of a whole different approach that they have toward me.
That's why I'm afraid to do this podcast with you, because I figure I'm already on some kind of a watch list for the InfoWars stuff. And now to team up with somebody who's so insignificant as far as pop culture goes.
Right.
Who's just very, very like you're more under the radar than the
I may as well be at the bottom of the creek.
The average kid with a TikTok has more of an outreach than you, and that's a red flag. Because you're going to start a podcast called the Radicalized Podcast. You're going to talk crazy conspiracies. You're going to talk anti-government rhetoric. You're going to build little like electronic devices in your basement when your family's asleep. You're going to throw up into people's heirlooms and urns at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Don't tell anybody that.
Well, they're going to see it. Because I'm screen recording as well, and I'm going to share that.
Well, they're not, because when I go out and what's the word? Douse?
Yeah.
I'm going to hit it with a hose so hard nobody has any clue on to put this heirloom back up.
Well, you're going to have to put some kind of ashes back in there and make it look like it hadn't been tampered with.
This one luckily didn't have ashes. This just had Rust-Oleum.
Okay. Well, you might be all right. But yeah, again, I'm recording this, and I'm going to make sure that they see this, because I think it's a cry for help.
Well, it sounds like you are an agent. You sound like an agent coming for me, like Snowden. I'm not as smart as Snowden. I'm not as smart as some of these heroes that these sometimes leftists have, you know, where they display the government on some crazy, you know, I'm sitting so far away on a satellite and I'm saying, I'm a pretty normal dude. People like to have a beer with me. There's like one person I've ever met my whole life who doesn't want to have a beer with me.
Huh.
And his name's Dominic Ferrari.
That's your brother-in-law.
Look him up, and you might be able to tell very quickly why. Everybody I ever met in my life has always liked me, thank God. And I do get in a pickle with a couple of, you know, like gay progressives. Not because they're gay, because I love a gay.
It's because they're progressive, because you're a gay conservative.
Right. So naturally, a gay conservative, gay progressive, we're going to butt heads. And that's just how things work. This fucking, you know. But Ben, I've been so inspired by you. And before we get off here, I know it's been an hour or something. 29 minutes, actually, 30 minutes, a good episode.
Well, we did 30 minutes on the other one, so we already have an hour. I mean, if you want to send me it over, I can splice it, see how it looks, see how it sounds. More important.
Can you make it look like I'm not broadcasting from Annapolis?
No.
I mean, I hate that. Why do I look like a slave owner?
Yeah, I think it's in your own head. You look amazing.
I think you look great too. And right before you get off, because I know you guys have a fantastic plan. Are you going to go to the YMCA today?
I might sit in the sauna and try to get rid of the rest of this COVID. I also might stop by Walmart and cough on all the canned meats.
Well, because you know that it's distributed because of your carelessness with your saliva.
Yeah, exactly. The particles. All right. Well, follow the science, and I guess maybe we'll try this again.
You still don't have a shirt on?
I do.
Let me see that shirt. Look at this guy. And can you stand all the way up?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're in the hot tub? Unbelievable. Now, do you trust a thing that comes out of his fucking mouth?
Well, you made me laugh, Mitch. So I hope that your listeners enjoy it, and I hope we can get past the 30 subscribers so we can get the FBI off our backs.
Okay, I'll do my best of cleaning up the urn.
God bless.
I'll see you in a bit.
Bye now.
Bye.